Hi, my name is Noah Klein, and I work for the Hawaii Department of Health Hazardous Waste Program. I'm here today to train you on how to fill out the Hazardous Waste Biennial Report. This training has been updated for the 2025 report cycle, but some portions were recorded in earlier years. So a little outline of what we're going to go over in this training. First of all, what is the biennial report? Just a little background information for you. Who must report? What must be reported? And then we'll talk about how to set up the tools you need to gather, the information you need to gather in order to get ready to work on your report. And then how to actually prepare your report. So what is the biennial report? It's a report that happens every other year, and you're reporting every even numbered year on your odd numbered year information. So the odd numbered year, like 2023, is called the reporting year because you're reporting your waste management activity that took place during that entire calendar year. And then the report is due by March 1st of the following even numbered year, such as March 1st, 2024. And the information is going to help provide EPA and the states with an understanding of hazardous waste generation and management. Also, it's going to help us to monitor compliance with regulations and to evaluate how waste minimization efforts are going. And the biennial report information will also be summarized by EPA at a national and state level and made available to the public. This is called the National Biennial RCRA Hazardous Waste Report. So the national report is compiling all of the data collected by the different states and combining it to look at a state, regional, and national level for what kind and amount of hazardous waste is being generated, managed, shipped, and received, how many different generators and waste management facilities are receiving the waste from those generators, and how that waste is being managed. So just to give you a concrete example of this, here we have the data from shipments from Hawaii in 2019. So each of these lines from Hawaii to another state represents the waste that's being shipped to that state, and the size of the circle in the receiving state shows how much waste is going there. So most of this waste went to Oregon. It's a little bit hard to see because it's overlapping with the line for Washington, but I happen to know this data, and this was because of the Pali Highway resurfacing. If you remember a few years ago, there were those huge mudslides and they had to redo a portion of the Pali Highway. That project generated a whole lot, like tons and tons and tons of lead impacted soil. So the amount of waste shipped from that Pali Highway resurfacing project was more than the rest of all of the hazardous waste that was shipped out of the state in 2019. And it happens that that soil was shipped to a facility in Oregon. So here's a slide that's a little more updated, showing that huge amount of waste that was shipped to Oregon. So 2019 is in purple, 2021 biennial report is in blue, and the 2023 report is in yellow. This is showing the total shipped tons from Hawaii to a particular state. And this graph has a very long tail on the right-hand side that I've cut off of waste that was going to other states. So you can see that in 2019, that soil that was shipped to Oregon was a much larger quantity of hazardous waste than what is typically shipped from Hawaii. And then there's some variability about, which state is most stuff going to, but the highest ones are in the West. And then FC here stands for foreign country. I believe that waste was sent to Canada from one facility, from one generator. This is EPA's new public website, and it's called the Hazardous Waste Information Platform, or WIP. And you have various controls on the side here. Data trends and analysis is where you'll get the more interesting graphs and tables. So biennial report summary is the national summary, and they have a few different ways that this is shown. You can select a particular state and narrow down the data that you're looking at in some of these tables. So you can see that our one petroleum refinery here in the state is generating a lot more waste than anyone else. This is wastewater that's contaminated during the petroleum refining process, and then they're processing and cleaning that wastewater to make it not a hazardous waste before it's disposed of. But I want to see if I can find some of the other interesting. So here's another example. You can look at the biennial report waste by industry. So this NAICS code stands for the North American Industry Classification System. Just sort of interesting to see, the overall tonnage for different codes. The site also includes a map so that the public can see all of the hazardous waste sites in their neighborhood. It includes inactive sites and very small quantity generators and basically everything. So don't be alarmed by the high numbers you see here. A lot of these are just like retail stores, gas stations, schools, and you can zoom in and out on this map. So all of this, again, is publicly available data. And if you click on details for a specific site, it does give the summary of the biennial report data for that site. You can't drill down into the data from here, but all of the data is publicly accessible. You can download these huge zip files of data. So it's very important that the information be accurate because it's used by EPA in terms of how many generators are out there, what types of industries the waste is being generated by, how much is generated, et cetera. Just keeping track of things, and then also so that the public can have accurate information about what's going on in their neighborhood.